Got the whole parking lot going on here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we got a couple topics for you guys. We're gonna do an update on Mean Machine towards the end of this video. We're gonna show off this build that we did, but the main topics that we're gonna do is cage safety, what to look for when purchasing a cage, as well as we're gonna show you guys this new Acumen Legend. Well, it's not new, but new to the channel, Acumen Legend. We did an unboxing on this in the past. We are going to run it on the Maverick R, but on this machine, not only are we doing the mirror, but there's also a switch panel setup that pretty much controls the lighting on this car, so that's very cool as well. We're going to show you that, so let's get into it. So we got a 2C X3 XRC. This machine, this gentleman came to me for some wiring, and we did the wiring, but while it was here, I kind of advised him to get a new cage. So on this machine, we have this really nice UTV Speed chopped cage. It is a lot lower than their regular radius cage. We'll get to that in just a second, but the reason is of the cage that was on it. So he didn't have the factory cage, he already had an aftermarket cage. But to be honest, guys, there's sometimes, especially when there's going to be a machine with my name attached to it, especially because I did a bunch of work to this, I got to make sure the guy driving it is going to be safe for the future. So this cage, there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, and we're not going to name the shop or the person who did it or so on and so forth. This cage might have been, you know, 3 years old. Maybe now he's an experienced and very good cage manufacturer. I have no idea. I don't even know who it is, honestly. So, but we're going to show you guys problems with this cage that I see that I don't like, and could definitely be an issue if you're in a rollover, and things for you guys to avoid, and maybe you guys could be aware of when you're purchasing a cage, because this, to me, not good. So for starters, this is a very low cage, basically the same dimensions as the one that I got him from UTV Speed. He wanted a low cage. That's great. He's not a really tall guy. He has the headroom still. It's not a big deal. Again, always get a cage that's gonna be, you know, good for you, for your neck, for your head, have plenty of room. All depends on your height, right? So on this one that he had already, there's a lot of things that I didn't like about this cage. And the first one that stood out to me was the bending of the tubes. So, no, and I say this as not being a professional when it comes to manufacturing, or excuse me, fabricating. I don't know how to build a cage. I can't build a cage on my own. And I have no business telling somebody how to make a cage. But I've been doing this long enough to have some really, really good common sense. And there's some big no-nos that I see here. And that's the reason why, hell, I gave this cage to him at a very good price because I wanted to make sure he got a new cage. So here's some stuff that I don't like. And this is the bend already at the A-pillar. This machine has not been in an accident. They bent this at the A-pillar to get, I guess, the look they were going for, which I don't know why they did that. This one doesn't have that bend here. It's a straight bar going to the plate. And looking at this bend, like I said, common sense tells you that they didn't use the right bender. So this material is stretched right here. You know, when you have a tube that has gotten from 1 3/4 down to 1.6, I don't know, it's a lot thinner here. The material is actually stretched, and you'll see that in multiple areas. So here, and then in the back on the B pillar, where this should normally be a nice straight tube to, you know, take some impacts, another portion where it's stretched and thinned out. Same goes for here. I know this is going to the C pillar, but that's just one thing, right? That's a design thing. That's a tube bender problem. That's the wrong probably tube bender. And then you see that just everywhere in this cage, and it just does not inspire any confidence. So if this machine's in an accident, say on a corner, you know, right here, this is already pre-bent and thinner, ready to, you know, bend. This right here is not a solid tube going straight, you know, up and down. Again, there's other manufacturers that have stuff like this, but they also do gusseting the opposite way, more triangulation. This already looks weak. It looks like it's already ready to bend. This cage on a side impact, you know, front side impact, I feel like it's gonna be a real big issue. I mean, the intrusion bars, and like I said, I don't want to throw shade on nobody, but this is something you guys need to look out for when you're purchasing a cage. So I recommend, you know, a few brands on the website or here on the channel multiple times because I know they're good. I had a UTV Speed cage. I rolled in a UTV Speed cage, and it had a very minimal damage. It was mostly like the rocks really kind of just gouged the metal, right? This for me is not a safe cage. I wouldn't take my chances rolling in something like this, especially at high speeds. And other things that you got to look out for is the welding. So what kind of welds are these guys producing, and are they completely just missing, you know, welds? So there's that I found. And right next to that, these welds have porosity. You can see the little holes. That is like little pockets of gas that was trapped, and then it made a hole, and then while the gas was escaping. Again, I'm not a welder, I'm not a fabricator, but I know that that is porosity in a weld, and that is not a good weld, and that could potentially be a very weak point if it comes in, you know, to being in an accident. So these are the things that I want you guys to keep an eye out for. I definitely had to recommend him a cage. I told him, dude, I'll get you the best price I could get you. Let's just put you in a cage, because my name's attached to this car now, so I wanted to make sure he was safe. Another thing is, I don't know what the hell was going on here. Obviously, you know, everybody runs wires through the tubes nowadays, right? I do that on this. We'll show you that in a little bit. But this, they added like a piece here, and then the hole is, I mean, I can fit my whole finger in this thing. Same thing goes for back here. I mean, at most, and I try to avoid it myself, at most the hole should be 1/2 inch at most, and I avoid it a lot of times. The most I normally go is like 3/8 inch, and that's even for light bars, rock lights, dome lights, whips, chase light wiring. Almost always it's 3/8, and the hole only gets bigger to 1/2 inch when I gotta run like multiple wires in one hole. But it's pretty rare, so that's something you got to keep in mind of. Don't drill holes that big, and like the other stuff I said, you got to be careful when you're purchasing a cage. So let's move on to this one. So this is a UTV Speed cage. We ran them in the past. I recommend UTV Speed, TMW, SF Raceworks, Geyser. Those are stuff that I offer. There's a bunch of brands that I don't offer that make amazing cages. It's hard to just start naming stuff off, but you know, LSK makes great cage kits. You can have those welded up by local fabricators. Sometimes, you know, you gotta watch out for the fabricators, but a lot of times, like the guys over at Fast Lab, they do them out in Orange. They make nice cages. You got freaking Fabworks. You have Brick City Fab. You have what is it, ABF, Cage Experts. There's so many. SDR, which is one we're gonna start offering soon because we have an account with them. They make some of the best cages out there. Then you get into like chromoly stuff that, you know, Geyser offers. There's a lot of cage manufacturers. There's a ton, and put your favorite cage manufacturer down below or what you're running, but there's a lot of them. But go with a reputable cage manufacturer. Don't go with someone, and it sucks to say because we all start somewhere, you know, someone who's just starting out making cages, like apparently he must have been doing. Maybe he's way better now, but definitely take a look at the cages. Make sure there's quality welds, no porosity. Make sure that the tube bending is done properly. Hell, if you're going with a cage manufacturer that is very new, I'd definitely go for a cage with plenty of height. And there's other things you want to look for that cage doesn't have, and this cage does, and that is gusseting and you know, more bracing, intrusion bars properly done. Here in the back, there's these extra pieces here. Normally these intrusions would be more towards the center because this is a low cage. It's, you know, just these corners, but this improves the rigidity of the cage and is definitely going to be stronger in a rollover. Same thing with the front. They add these tubes here. Again, I was talking about triangulation earlier, and that adds to the support. So there's basically a big triangle here. It's just stuff that's missing. This has, and it's the little things that will make a difference in your safety. So high quality welds, you can tell. I mean, I'm no expert, but you can tell when there's a quality bead going through a weld or joining two tubes. There's just a difference that you can immediately see. This one's really nice. Again, made by UTV Speed with intrusion bars, tabs for his linkable. We basically copied that cage as far as, you know, the dimensions and where he wanted the placement of the lights. We got whip tabs here that are a lot stronger. Let me just show you. Let me just show you an option, let me just show you an example here. You can see these whip tabs have this crazy, you know what? I have one. Let me just show you that. All right, where was I? So these are the whip tabs that UTV Speed uses. These are big dogs. I mean, they go something like that. They're not bending at all. You will break the whip, you will break the tab, you will do everything else before you bend this. It's a lot easier to replace a whip than to replace the tab. Look at the tabs that this cage has. Not only that, they put them so close to this tube that the 5150 base was rubbing right here. So I had to put new bases on this machine. So again, these are the things you will notice. Quality whip tabs, quality stuff that that does not have. So continuing, the boys at UTV Speed did bungs for the mirrors. They also did some tabs here for these XL80s that we got them. And overall, the cage is just a better overall cage. But yeah, this machine, 2-seat with X3 TMW doors, and basically that's it, and a bunch of accessories. And let me show you guys some of the accessories on this machine that we wired up with the Acumen Legend. A very interesting device. We are running the Acumen Legend on the Maverick R, although I haven't wired it yet. But this one has basically all the features: the GPS, the Acumen box, which is a switch panel. Are you looking at my chest hair? You dirty dog. It has the front camera and the rear camera, so this thing's pretty tricked out. So let's show you that. All right, check out those freaking chase light tabs. That looks clean. All right, hopefully you guys can see this clearly. This is the Acumen Legend. It's gonna be hard to tell right now. So basically, this is a rear view mirror that doubles as a display with camera views. So if you guys are familiar with the GM trucks, Chevys and GMCs, they have this mirror that basically doubles as a camera. So this one has a camera built into the mirror right there, which actually looks pretty cool on here. I don't know what the footage looks like. I haven't pulled any footage. I think it needs an SD card, but I think it does have internal storage. This thing is pretty dope because you can add cameras to it. So now we have another camera right in here, which I looped into the tube. Comes out right there, and now we can have a different feed. Let me see if I could. I don't even know how to use this. Can you guys see that? This is gonna be super hard to show you guys on camera, but right now we're looking at the front camera feed. You see, that's my hand. And then there's a switch system on here that pops up over the top. You see that? We have switch 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have them all set up as light bar, hood, whips. And that basically controls the lights. It is actually really, really cool. So there is a strobing function as well, but you have to turn on and off the strobing function. You can't like double click. At least I don't think you can, like Switch Pros. But it's actually really nice to have this right here. It is kind of hard to see during the day, my honest opinion. Obviously at the screen, it's like you're looking at your phone. But it is bright enough to be able to see it. So I like it. Definitely at night, it's gonna work perfectly. I tried it last night when I was installing it or finishing wiring it up, and it was really, really cool. So Acumen Legend with the switch box, very cool. This also does have GPS functionality. Here it'll tell you if you're going north and what speed. Again, pretty dope. This is a 2-channel, I think, and it has an option for another camera. I just pretty much hid the wire so you can't see it, but that is also another option. I don't know, you could probably run a camera inside the car to record yourself. I think that would be, you know, a cool option if you're doing content. For me, on the Maverick R, I am gonna do a rear camera, and then maybe I'm thinking about doing a camera inside the car. I think that would be pretty cool. So this one here, we mounted with their universal mount for UTVs. As you can see there, the wiring, we got 2 wires going in this tube here. One is for power, and the other one is for the Acumen box, because you do have to have a control circuit between the two. This one here is for the rear view camera, and then over here we hid, I wouldn't say hid, but it was the best option. Luckily this guy has a linkable, and there's already a little bit of wiring here, so we just, you know, wired up and left this GPS antenna right here. But that thing is actually a pretty cool system. So very similar to like an aux beam, a Switch Pros. I can turn on and off all the lights, all the whips, all the chase light, all that stuff, and it works like it's intended. So I believe this also has some sort of Bluetooth functionality if you download a app from Acumen. So if you wanted to use the device, the switch panel, from your phone, I believe you can do that. And I think it's a pretty cool option. On my machine, I'm not gonna run the switch panel. Originally was, but I decided we're just gonna do the cameras only, and that's because I'm gonna do something different on my machine. Because I did the steering wheel Switch Pros on Oscar's Pro R, and I really like the switch panel on the steering wheel. I think I'm gonna do that. So anyways, very cool Acumen, and this machine looks great. So I finished this one up. This is a 2-seat, looks cool. Make sure you check out the cages when you're buying one. Make sure you get something quality, or I can recommend you the brands that we use. They're always quality. And then over here we got Stormtrooper, and then we got Mean Machine. Just a little update for you guys, since we're kind of waiting for powder coat. Our friends at Pacific had to burn off the old powder coat and, you know, redo it. But here we put on the new Dirt Specialties doors. The old sets were all bent up and damaged. The skins were all jacked up, so we put new ones on there. And we got bags for them now, so these are freaking legit. These are made by PRP for Dirt Specialties, and they look legit, and the storage is legit. Like, there's a lot of space in here. Like, you're not gonna have any issues not having space. There's literally an upper and lower bag for the front and the rear, so these are really cool door bags. So Dirt Specialties on here. In the front we got the new smart lock in there. We did paint up the frame just a little bit because it was all rusted and jacked up, just the front section, not a whole bunch. I still gotta pull off the sway bar and replace the bushings because they're gone already, basically. Same with the rear. I gotta take this one off, replace the bushings because they are worn out. I think while I have that apart, I'm just gonna go ahead and give that a coat of paint on that sway bar. Speaking of coat of paint, we also give this a little coat of paint back here. I cut off all the studs because we're gonna be doing the Aluminum UTV rear bulkhead, like I did on Big Blue and Stormtrooper. And it'll look something like this, except for a it won't be a 10 bolt. It'll be just a regular 6 points, you know, 6 bolt. But there's a plate in there, and then there's dog bones on the inside of that. See that? So that's very cool. It'll be the same thing basically on this machine. So just cleaning it up, getting it ready. I did start messing with these faded plastics. Put a little heat gun to them, and also we might use like some sort of coating to try to get the black to shine again. This thing was sitting in the sun for quite some time, but the boys now put it in the toy hauler, so we want to make it nice and pretty again. But yeah, we're waiting for parts. That's the update on the Mean Machine. Also, as you can tell, is missing a lot of the wrap. You know, took all of it off here. This is a little bit harder, but I haven't got to that yet. But I took off all the wrap here, off all the fenders. I still take off this one too. We're gonna rewrap this machine. It's gonna be a whole different design, different color. I think you guys will like it. I know I like it because I know what it looks like already, but it's gonna be sick. So just a little update video for you guys. Thank you guys for watching as always. You guys on this list right here, I really do highly appreciate you guys for going the extra mile, supporting the channel. So shout out to my Patreon and my YouTube join members. And yeah, just a little update for you guys. Mean Machine is still a work in progress. Hope you guys enjoy those tips on, you know, picking out a cage and what to look for, as well as the Acumen. Not sure on long term on that Acumen Legend, that mirror, but it's definitely a cool idea. So you'll see more from that on my Maverick R, and we'll show you guys that, and maybe some future video footage from that. Maybe you get a good look at how good that device is. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching. Peace out. See you later. Oh, by the way, Stormtrooper, I'm getting this thing back into fighting shape. We had a little issue with it, right? Last time we were out, we blew about. I'm still correcting some issues over there on the clutch side. We got some new panels for the front. We'll talk about that later. Obviously, I gotta give her a wash, and the wife wants an audio system, so we'll do that. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.